Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're working on a Craftsman something. It's outside. It's an LT1000, I believe. Tractor's not in. I decided to work on the deck first. I have to replace it. The old one is completely rotted out, which is kind of not very common on Craftsman's because they use a nice thick 12 gauge material, but if you don't scrape the grass out from underneath them, they will rot out as well. So I'd happen to have a spare deck. It's had parts robbed off it over the months or year that I've had it. So it's missing the pulleys and jack shafts and some stuff. So I've already scuffed that down with 320 sandpaper. I'm going to hit it with a coat of black paint. And I do have a rebuild kit that I got from my supplier. It's got spindles, spindle pulleys, idler pulleys, a belt, set of blades. It's a complete thing to get all the wearing parts replaced on that deck. So that's where I'm starting with this machine. Machine does have to come in and we have to go over the whole thing anyways, check the drive belts and things like that. It's running lean, carburetor's surging, so we might have to take that apart and just do the regular maintenance, check the tires, oil change, things like that. So stay tuned after the intro. 10 seconds for you. That deck will be shiny black. Well, there she is, all painted up nice and pretty. I did already transfer the wheels over, and I transferred the chute over from the other one. Well, let's get the spindles and pulleys off. Now, they did short ship me a pulley. I'm actually missing this one, so I'm just going to leave that on as a placeholder for now. But we'll get the new pulley on here, and we'll get the spindles changed out. So these are your brake arms. Let's get them unhooked so there's no tension on them. There we go. We're going to get these spindle bolts out of here. Oh, that one broke off. That's fine, because I got new bolts with the new spindles. That's fine. Now there's a shield around these. It's all beat up. Let's straighten that out. There's the old spindle. I've already, like I said, I've stolen parts out of these. They're just a stripped out spindle now. There's the new one. Can't put it in yet. We got to straighten out the shield. But new bolt at the bottom. New mounting bolts. Nice long ones too. And new nut on top, new spacer. Actually, it's complete. It's complete with everything you need. It's perfect. All right, I'm gonna put this on over on the vise and beat that straight. And we gotta mount it up underneath there. Okay, so we got this one on this side all straightened out enough-ish. Let's get this run back down. Good enough. We should have in the kit, yes we do, new spindle pulleys as well. There you go. Nice. I think that's a 7/8 on this one. MTDs are usually 15/16. This is an AYP 7/8. That's tight. Here we go. New spindle, new pulley. That'll work. Other side. Those bolts came right out from the other side. I think they were loose, actually. They were just about to fall out. That's fine. Done broke, and got to change them anyway. Let's get these out of here. Already straightened that shield. I'm going to scoot over to the other side there. Put this up from underneath. Why is the lens foggy? It is pretty foggy outside today. Huh. Whoa, easy guys, easy now. Okay. Well, this side's the same as the other one, just on the other side. You can see? Enough-ish. Through the fog. Yeah, boy. Alright, let's get our shield lined up. Just gonna pop it in from the bottom. Lock her down. Well, you didn't see most of that. I didn't notice the lens had fogged up that bad. And anyway, new spindles are in, new blades are on. Spindle pulleys, the one idler pulley's on. And I gotta wait for the other one they short shipped me. They've shipped it to me, but I don't have it yet, so. The deck can go outside now. Oh, the kit did come with a new belt. Installed. And we'll get the deck out of here, and the old deck, and we'll bring the tractor in and start working on that. It runs lean, pretty lean. You gotta run it with the choke on so it stays steady. If you shut the choke off, it surges up and down. So the carb's dirty. We'll get into that and go over the whole thing, dry belts, tires, the normal stuff. Alright, well, it's been lots of weeks later since the first videos were recorded of that deck swap thing. This is the victim we're working on. LT1000. It's a 19.5 horse Briggs, horizontally opposed. It is a 2001. It does actually run pretty good, other than it needs some carb work. They all do. It was a running, functioning tractor. The deck fell apart on the customer. Asked me to have a look at it. I happen to have a used deck here that I offered to sell him. Oh, that is dirty. He didn't want to put the money into the tractor, so I ended up just paying him for it and keeping it. That was dirty, super dirty. Let's see what we got. Well, it's at the ad mark. It is black though. It smells gaseous. Gaseous? Gaseous? Gas? It smells like gas, like fuel. It's got fuel in it. Strange. Fuel pump. Equipped tractors usually don't have that problem. Gas tank down below, but I think it's just because it's been running rich. He might have been running it on choke, because that's how I got it to run kind of smooth. Just a little bit of choke, so it could be just pumping fuel everywhere. We're gonna do a tune-up on it. We're gonna pull the carb. We're gonna soak it. I didn't even clean this thing. We're gonna inspect the belts and all that stuff. It's a good candidate for a polish when it's done. I'm not doing it now. It is November, time of recording. I'm not gonna sell this year. So in the springtime, I'm gonna clean it up and do a polish and stick it on the road for sale. We're gonna get the lights working. We'll have to polish that up. I like them to look nice. The paint on this is tired. It might come back. Maybe. Anyways, let's get the hood off, get it lifted in the air, and we'll start looking at stuff. Alright, let's take a gander at this thing. I've already dumped the oil out of it because it was dirty and it was going to get changed anyways. And I'll get you a little zoomed in here. This filter is going to be replaced. The fuel line is hard as a rock, so it's going to be replaced, and it runs from the filter all the way to the carburetor, which is coming off. Ultrasonic cleaner is warm, so we'll be taking that off. We're going to pull this cover off, so let's get that out of there. Get her out of the way. Hopefully these bolts don't break. They do sometimes. There we go. Notice on the other side, under this cover, is a little bit of nest material, possibly. What is the dealio here? No nest under that one. We can get to the fuel line nice and easy too. There we go. Just got to kind of tilt on like that. Nice and clean. I'm just going to run a wrench over these, or a ratchet, just to make sure they're tight. We're going to change the spark plugs. Yeah, that fuel line's been sitting in the heat for a while. It's hard as a rock out this end. I don't like it. We'll put some more on there, some new stuff. And yeah, just go ratchet real quick. Oh, they're tight. Sometimes they tend to loosen off, but well, that one was a little loose. I'm not checking torque or nothing. I'm just making sure that they're not loosened off. There, they're all fine. We'll pull that plug out of there while we're got the ratchet in our hands. Yeah, a little dirty up front. Again, I haven't even washed this tractor. It's not warm, a little dirty. Like I said, it's getting new ones anyways, because it's a refurb. Take a peek down the cylinder head, see if we can see anything. A little bit of oily mess in there, but it hasn't been running very hot very long. Okay. It does run smooth, so it's running on both. I got burned once on a purchase for a resale. Not that he ripped me off or nothing, it's just I didn't do my due diligence. I am going to leave that plug in because it's twisting that nest. Whatever's in there, it's going to twist it around the plug, and I don't want that down the engine hole. So we get that cleaned out before I get that plug out. But anyways, back to what I was saying. It was misfiring on one cylinder. Actually, it was pretty bad misfire. It was dead cylinder. So I'll just tune it up, whatever, put a plug in it. Nope. One of the valves had been, well, the valve seat left the chat, and it was not doing anything. So I ended up swapping the engine on that one. On this side, what else can we check? Well, just eyeball underneath here. It was nice and quiet driving it in, so I know the idlers are okay. The pulleys and the bearings and stuff. That belt looks good. We're not going to change that. Cable looks a little frayed. The deck engagement cable. I may have to replace that, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how it operates when I get back together. Again, this was a working, functioning tractor when I bought it. I did post a poll on my channel. It's going to get a repaint. I decided to repaint it, so posted a poll. The timing is going to be way off, so I don't know when I'm going to read the poll, but just choice of colors, what we're going to paint it. Okay, let's zoom you out so you get more of a shot of what we're doing. I always go the wrong way. Let me zip that other cover off there real quick. Missing a screw over here. That's fine. Ooh, those were tight coming out. I don't like that. Let go. Okay. Oh no. Oil dipstick tube is in the way. Well, there's a nest in there. Just on the cylinder head though. I don't think it's up underneath the red cover. No, I can see up in there it's clean. So I'm gonna get a blowgun and blow this out, then I get the plug out. We still gotta get the carburetor off, tore down, and cleaned. Cover. Parts tray now. Yeah. Wing nut. Wing nut. Top plate. Oh, make sure that didn't land on the battery. Where is it? It's gone forever. There it is. Okay, filter, let's check. Looks good actually. Pre-filter's not terrible. It's not falling apart, so we'll hang on to that spacer. And then it's just 3 little screws underneath there to get that plate off. Is it, what size is it? Is it this size? Oh, it is that size. 1. Don't let them go down the carb. Not a terrible thing if it does. We're taking it apart anyway. There's those 3. Lower cover should be a breather. Yep, breather hose here. Just push it out of the lower. Golden. Beautiful. Now we can see the carburetor. The little spring clamp was doing nothing because I just took it out with my fingers. Said we're going to replace that line, so let's get it out of there. I don't know what the heck that foam is. It could be factory, but I've never seen it on one before. It's probably all deteriorated and junk by the time I get to them. This is our fuel supply to the fuel pump. That's our pulse line. That's crankcase pulses will operate that fuel pump. It's hard as a rock. Let's get that stupid thing off of there. This goes right over to here. Might as well just take it off down at the bottom because it's getting replaced. Watch your eyes. That was easy. That's 1/4-inch fuel line. Gas isn't terrible in this machine. That's all garbage, but we'll leave it to the side for a minute so we can use it to get the length of our new line. There should just be a couple of bolts underneath here to get the carb off, but we got to get our cable out of here. So I'm going to just quickly mark where the cable sits in the clamp. There's a paint marker. Not that we can't adjust it, that's your choke cable. It's not that we can't adjust it later, but nice to get to start off close. What size is that Torx now? What's that one? Get that pulled out. It's just in a Z bend on the carb. It was in a bottom hole. There's a lot of wear around that bottom hole, so I'll be able to easily tell where that goes. Don't get in my eyes now. That one's fine. Let's get our pulse line hose off of there. Yep. Yep. Just a Z bend from the governor arm into the, the governor / throttle arm into the carburetor. So once we get the 2 bolts out of the bottom of the carb, we'll be able to just unhook that governor out of the way. Will the socket fit in there? It will. 7/16. Cracked. Where's the other one? There it is. Cracked. One bolt. Two bolts. Should just be able to gently move that off of there. Carb spacer's giving me grief, but see if we can just get this to unhook off the throttle linkage. And success. Yep. All right, I'm going to leave that linkage attached on this end. I'll take it off the carburetor. I'll leave it attached on this end. That way I remember where it goes. It doesn't get lost when we start tearing this carb down. It does run. It just doesn't like to idle very well. Interesting, on this carb, there's a big plug screw here, a bolt head. You can take that out and you can actually get the main jet out in the bottom of that carb. Awesome. Oh, it's got me. All right, I'm going to move on to blowing out that head, and we'll get back to taking the plugs out and other things. We still got to get to that carb, and ultrasonic cleaner's ready. But yeah, give me a sec. We'll come right back. All right, well, let's start taking the carb apart. Let's get this plug cap off of here. Should give us access to the main jet. A little bit of rusty looking things in there. I don't know. There might have been water in there at some point. Let's see if the jet's tight. Oh, there it is. It's loose. Nice and clear. Actually appears to be pretty clean in there. But that doesn't mean we're not going to take it apart. Let's do that. Yeah. It was idling a little lean, but wide open throttle seemed to be fine. There's no mixture adjustment on this. It is what it is. You got what you got. So I'm happy the gasket's intact. Oh, there's some crud on the bottom. Oh, it's like white jello. Clear jello. So that is ethanol fuel. It's slimy. Ew. Another little jet here we should be able to take out. Yeah, there we go. That's the low speed. It's a fixed jet. Bet you that had some junk in it. Coulda. Doesn't matter. It's going to the ultrasonic cleaner anyway. Yeah, it's a little goopy in there. I'm not going to bother taking the fuel pump off. I don't have a set of gaskets for it anyways. Doesn't really matter because actually there is water in the bottom of that. Doesn't matter anyways because the Simple Green HD Pro that I use in my ultrasonic cleaner does not attack rubber. So it'll be just fine. That's as stripped as I'm going to strip it as far as the body goes. Get this pushed out of here. Need a pick. Yep. Our float, enormous float. Brass needle. Brass needle with a rubber tip and a brass seat. That should do just fine. Okay, we'll soak this in the ultrasonic cleaner for a little bit and blow everything out with compressed air and put it back together. Look at that sitting up there nice and pretty and clean. Let's throw it together. It's exactly the reverse of install. I didn't find anything too nasty inside there anyways. A little bit of ethanol gel and crap. I just blew all the passages out, make sure they're all clear. Is what it is. Did get that new fuel line running there. Got the engine topped up with oil. Got the shields back on, the covers. I did pull a little suction on this to see what was going to come into the fill the new filter, and it was cloudy crap. So we got to drain the fuel tank, get rid of that ethanol garbage out of there. So we'll do that. We'll get there. Just soon. We'll get there. All right. So might as well throw the air cleaner back together. Hook the choke cable up still. Well, the ultrasonic cleaner was running for 15-20 minutes or so. I just jumped around and did a couple of things. I just greased the spindles, greased the wheel bearings. There's grease fittings on them. Sorry, wheel bushings. They're not bearings on this, they're bushings. Carb is tight, so we could swap out that 7/16 socket for this little 8mm or 5/16. There's that. The other cover is already on. Did I put the torque screwdriver away? I did. Get the choke on there. Choke cable. Oh, jeez. In the bottom hole of the arm. That's roughly where she was. Just give it a test here. All the way closed, or sorry, all the way open, all the way closed. It's got full travel, good enough. That's all you need for this one. It's not too critical. Some of the Briggs that have a single cable are they're pretty picky. Or the throttle, as you throttle up, you go to the top of that is choke. This has got a separate choke cable, so it's super easy to adjust. That's that, that's that. Get that fuel line hooked up. Why did I cut so much off? I don't know. Let's get, actually, look at this air tube. Little rubber tube pushed back in the bottom of the air cleaner. Okay, that's good. And, well, let's cut that a little more. Outstanding. I have, somewhere in my bag of tricks here, there we go, spring fuel clamps. I don't like them, but whatever. They work. Might as well put it on. You know what? I'm going to leave this off for now because I want to drain the fuel tank and then I'll blow through this to blow anything out of the line. Yeah, we'll leave that off for a minute. Where else are we? What do we got to do? We'll finish putting the air cleaner on. Spacer. Well, this pre-filter is a little crusty. I'm gonna leave it off for now. I might order another one, a new one, to put it on. Or just leave it off for now. Just, it's not terrible, but it's just starting to get to that stiff point where it's not gonna be much longer for this world. Snug those down. Get our lid on. That's 3/8. Where's my 3/8? Or there it is. Okay. On to draining and cleaning the fuel tank out. And I think we got to put the deck on it. Everything underneath is good. Like I said, the oil's filled up. There's no filter on it to change, no oil filter. It's a splash oil engine. It's not a pressure fed engine. Okay, so let me get that fuel tank cleared out. See if I can save a sample, maybe. All right, so I've done those things that I said I was going to do. Got some, I got all that crap flushed out. Got some fresh gas in there. Let's see what happens. It's going to crank for a bit before it starts because it's got to fill all the fuel line and everything. So let's see what happens. We'll give her a wide open throttle so it's easy to get some air in there. Fuel. We're going to call that a win. Actually runs pretty good. Different than it was, so the carburetor cleaning did help. It would pop and bark at an idle, but it's not doing that now, so it's not lean. That's good. Okay, so we do have our deck hanging rods, one on each floorboard here. We're going to get the deck in here and slide it under, hang it, get the belt on it, and park it outside. All the tires hold air. I've had this thing for months. Hasn't lost a pound of air. They all got tubes in them. That's all good. Come the springtime, when it's cleanup time, I'm probably going to paint it. Yeah, it'll get painted at some point. And depends on what the poll says. Because like I said, I put a poll up. Who wants what color I should put it? So majority wins on that one. Everything else seems to be okay. The brakes and everything work. I drove it in here. Runs better now. Oil was changed. New set of plugs in it. Got the mouse nest out of the right side cylinder. Battery is still good. Everything seems to be good with it. It's greased up. Okay, so we're going to let this one simmer for a bit. And we'll get some shots of it after it's painted. Well, since we've got the black all tied up and finished up, let's get this thing out of here and we'll work on the body and the hood. And I still have to recondition the headlight grill thing. So, moving on. Alright, so I did a little prep work here. I got it, the glaze or the shine of the paint busted down with some 320 paper. Got the decals I want to keep are masked off. I didn't prime it. This is a rust paint. This is the color on the cap. It's not quite exactly the same, but it'll do. Let's face it, it's not a John Deere. Let's get some color on this thing. Definitely going to be a 2-coater, I think. Yeah. See how it goes. Oh, that's bright. It does go out nice. It does cover. Jeez, it's almost John Deere green. Well, doesn't look anything like Craftsman green. Nothing like it. But that's the color it's going. It's too late now. That's what I got. The lid lied. The lid shows it a lot darker than this. It does cover good though. Covers well. I mean, what is this stuff? Rust-Oleum. I don't know. Got it at my local hardware store. Try and shop local for consumables and things. Keeps everybody happy and bills paid and lights on, and my customers are pretty well all local people. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I don't sell online or anything. Everything is off my front lawn, meaning I sell to neighbors and friends of neighbors. So it's important that everything is done well, properly, because I don't want problems with neighbors or friends of neighbors. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. All right, we'll let it tack up and we'll move on to the hood. Well, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. Not the green I wanted, but it's green. It is what it is. At least it's all going to look the same green. So I cleared up that lens a little bit, painted it's basically a piece of plastic in there that's supposed to be mirrored, like a chrome finish, but over the years that just flakes away. So I just paint them white, gives it a little bit brighter look. I'm still going to make sure all the lights and everything work. I do have a little bit of wiring repair to do on the tractor because the wiring is burned off. So we got to figure that out and get that fixed. But I'm going to get... I downloaded actually the font for the Craftsman font, that notchy square brick looking font. So I've got it downloaded, and my daughter's got a machine that cuts vinyl, so I'm gonna get some new Craftsman logos for that. I'm gonna get a Craftsman over there, the LT1000, and we're gonna cut them out of white vinyl and stick them on, and it's gonna look factory. Well, I think this is where we're gonna leave this video off. The only thing left is to slide the deck underneath it and hook it up. That deck's all been rebuilt. That was the first part of this video. There she is. In the viewfinder of the camera, it looks a little brighter than it does in real life. It is not as dark as the original Craftsman color, which is more like this propane tank. That'd be more like the color. You can see the difference in the shade. Maybe you can, I don't know. Anyways, it's darker. The original shade was a little darker. This is what I was able to pick up locally for paint, so it looks really good actually. It's a nice clean tractor. It's green. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you do subscribe, click the bell. It'll let you know when I upload new stuff. Till the next one, take care.